This is a presentation of the history of charter schools. Charter schools are public schools that operate under charters and have been released from some of the regulations governing traditional public schools. A charter is a document that is given by the government to an individual to start a project or a grant, such as a school. Charter schools can be thought of as being primary or secondary schools that receive both public and private revenue. These schools are attended by choice and are highly competitive, so lotteries sometimes choose who attends the schools. The charters, private organizations or individuals, set many of the expectations and guidelines within the school. In 1988, Ray Budd, a professor at University of Massachusetts Amherst, came up with the idea of reforming the public schools, to give the students schools of choice. Ray named these schools charter schools. A few of these reformed schools, such as H.B. Woodlawn, existed, but they weren't yet called charter schools. In 1991, Minnesota became the first state to pass a charter school law. Currently in the United States, there are 41 states and the District of Columbia that have similar laws. In these states, the laws allow charter schools to operate under their own autonomy, so they are held to an increased accountability. Further, the National Charter School Resource Center outlines many resources to help charter schools meet accountability. Such resources include records of charter school performances and techniques of successful charter schools. These resources may give young charter schools ideas to improve their schools. Charter school enrollment is on the rise. According to the Center of Education Reform, in 2008, 59% of charter schools had wait lists averaging nearly 200 students per list. Texas is one of the top states for the most charter schools. The graph on this slide shows the rise in number of kids enrolled in charter schools in the state of Texas. Students enrolled in charter schools increased by 81% from 2002 to 2007, and the number of charter schools increased by an additional 52%. With the growing interest in charter schools, numerous states have lifted caps on the number of charter schools allowed to open in each state. With increases in enrollment, the number of charter schools built continues to increase. In 2011, the National Alliance for Public Charter Schools released that Los Angeles had the highest number of charter school students, just under 80,000. This number was nearly 12,600 students more than last year alone. In 2010, the Mathematica Policy Research reported that charter schools are more effective in lower income and lower achieving students. Also, the charter schools in large urban areas had positive impacts on students' math achievement, but they had negative impacts on those students that lived outside the large urban area. Additionally, charter schools also push other schools to be better. In 2004, Hawksby found that charter school competition increased the test scores of students who remained in traditional public schools. By pushing for better test results, traditional public schools compete to keep their dominant role in school types across the U.S. Also, there are positives to charter schools. Firstly, they provide families with options because parents want to choose what school is best for their child. Options are possible because charter schools are free to innovate to improve student achievement. Such examples could be having longer school days or spending more time on students' difficult subjects. Secondly, charter schools provide a unique school culture. Charter schools pick their own themes. One theme could be focused on STEM education, which is based on science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Other themes include performing arts, project-based learning, or career readiness. Each charter school is different. There are some areas for improvement in charter schools as well. Because they don't need to follow government regulation, some standards are overlooked, such as teacher certification. Teachers may have content area degrees, but they may lack a license to teach. This means that they may not be effective in explaining and teaching the material because they lack the basics in teaching. Also, because there are strict admission requirements, people may feel discouraged from even applying, creating a less diverse classroom setting. Charter schools have small size and limited number, so people may feel that the public charter school is not really even an option to them. People may feel like they are just a goldfish competing with a great white shark. Further, with limited space, the application process is very important. According to the U.S. News magazine, charter schools named Basic Tucson is ranked as the #1 charter school in the nation, receiving a gold medal ranking in college readiness. Basic Tucson is also ranked 6th in the nation for best public high school. Unfortunately, communities are also facing charter school closings. Since the first charter school opened in 1992, nearly 6,700 charter schools have also opened. However, just over 1,000 of these schools have also closed. Plus, 131 more schools have authorities keeping a close eye on them with threats of closure in 2 years. Shortcomings leading to charter school closings are not necessarily due to financial concerns. The per-pupil expense is about the same between charter schools and traditional public schools. However, the breakdown of money is different. Charter schools receive less local funding, but receive much more federal and state revenue in categorical aid. To improve the name of charter schools, 2 actions must be done: replicate the successful charter models and close the worst low-quality charter schools that discredit the name. For example, in Indianapolis charter schools, less than half met progress goals. These closings would ensure that children have good schools to attend and actually meet their progress goals. Overall, charter schools are privately run public schools, allowing them to be flexible. They offer options to teachers and students to provide the best educational environment to each individual. The rich learning environment makes charter schools highly competitive and the enrollment number high as well. Lastly, we obviously did not come up with this information on our own. Listed on this slide are resources used to piece together the history of charter schools. If you're interested in learning more about charter schools, please visit the National Charter School Resource Center or the National Alliance for Public Charter Schools websites.